JFK Assassination Conference, the final verdict. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Fannin. I'm the author of The Innocence of Oswald. I've been studying this assassination for about 37 years, and I am currently working with John Barber on the Jim Garrison tapes Part 2, and we are actually having our first screening of that on Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock at the Texas Theater. So if anybody is interested in coming to that, please do. We have the theater from 12:30 to 5:30. The documentary itself will run from 1 to 3, and then there will be a question and answer session with John Barber afterwards. Judyth has asked me to lead everyone into the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody would stand and honor the flag, please. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now I would like to introduce Don Ratliff, who's going to lead us in prayer.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Don Ratliff. I'm on the board of directors for the JFK conferences. And before I lead us in prayer, Judyth has asked me to point out that it's been said at JFK conferences it's not a good idea to start on a Friday because people won't come. So I want to acknowledge and thank you for showing us that that is not true. We thank you for your presence. Now, if you would bow your head as I pray. Dear God, we thank you for this beautiful day, for this opportunity to come together, to seek the truth about this tragedy, the assassination of our beloved President, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. We ask for your blessing. We seek the truth. We ask for your guidance to help our speakers speak the truth, to help us understand and open our hearts, and to take action on what we learned today. Not just that we learned, but we seek to take action. Do we correct what has taken place? We ask for your guidance to get our country back on track. And with this, we ask for your blessings of peace. Amen.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how I got into the JFK thing. I've been speaking at these conferences since 1993. Way back when there used to be one called ASK, which was the Assassination Symposium on Kennedy. I've spoken at COPA conferences with John Judge. Obviously, Judyth, I spoke at hers 2 years ago. I gave her remarks at Lee Harvey Oswald's grave that year. But I want to tell you how I got into it's a little funny story, it's in my book, but I want to tell you how I got into this, okay? I was 15 years old, and I had to do a report on a president. And so my history teacher put 28, 30 names in a hat, and I drew out John F. Kennedy. And so I decided to concentrate on his assassination, because I was always into Abraham Lincoln, so I thought, well, I'll just concentrate on his assassination. Well, needless to say, back then you didn't have the internet. You actually had to go to the library and do research. And what I found was all these eyewitnesses. I'm looking at the Dallas Morning News, the Fort Worth Times, the Washington Post, New York Times. I'm finding all these things. And all these witnesses are saying it happened this way, yet the Warren report says it happened this way. And so I basically wrote my report stating that at the time I thought Oswald had an accomplice. And then when I came to Dallas for the first time in 1987, I realized I realized that there was no way that this thing happened the way that they claim it did. And so during my research, my history teacher says to me, he goes, Gary, he goes, are your parents still alive? And I said, yeah. And he goes, ask them where they were. Because everybody that's alive knows exactly where they were when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. So again, I've done my homework. I know it's happened on a Friday afternoon. So I go home and I ask my mom, I said, Mom, where were you when Kennedy was assassinated? And she goes, oh, well, she goes, I was right here, watching my soap operas, and they broke in on the TV and said, that he had been shot. And I said to her, I said, well, Mom, I said, we were not wealthy people by no means, but we had a live-in nanny that stayed with us Sunday night through Friday because, again, my mom worked, which is very unusual in the 60s to have both parents work. And so I said to her, I said, what were you doing home from work on a Friday afternoon? And she goes, I just got back from the doctor and found out I was pregnant with your ass. True words. So that's what got me started in this, and like I said, it's been 37 years nonstop, and how I got, I have to thank Judyth and Chris for me actually writing my book, because I spoke at her conference 2 years ago. And everybody's coming up afterwards going, wow, you should write a book on Oswald. You should write a book on Oswald. I'm like, I'm not that smart. And so on the flight home, my wife says, why don't you write a book? And I'm like, we got one boy that just started college. We got a daughter that's in the 4th grade. I work full time. When do you think I have time to write a book? And she goes, well, the last I checked, you hate your boss. And the last I checked, we're not financial destitutes. She goes, quit. I said, you're giving me permission to quit work. I went in the next day and resigned. Okay, and I'm proud to say I haven't worked a day in real life since then. But like I said, these conferences are very important. You're going to get a lot of information from a lot of great people. Bar McClellan will tell you, one of the weird things is when you write a book, you wouldn't believe how many people come out of the woodwork that wants to talk to you. Bar and I've done several conferences together. He contacts me. Douglas Caddy, the attorney for E. Howard Hunt and the Watergate burglars, he contacts me. Again, all these people, John Barber, I mean, I've got people calling me that I'm like, I sold a book to a guy by the name of Joseph P. Kennedy III. Okay, I get that come across on my seller account, and I'm like, okay, who's playing the joke? So I mean, I had to actually call his office to make sure that it was a legit purchase, because the last thing I want to do is send a book to the Kennedy family and have this guy, again, I'm thinking that somebody's playing a horrible joke on me. But true enough, he wanted a book. Again, I'm going to move things along, get the first person up here, but again, I want to let everyone know that I'm honored to be here. Again, the next 3 days is going to be very action-packed. Who here, I know you don't even count. Who here has never been to a conference on the Kennedy assassination? Okay. The people that raised your hands, who here has already saw somebody that you thought was famous? Okay. But again, you're gonna meet a lot of people. You're gonna see every side of this story. Okay. And again, on Monday, the premiere. I'm sorry, it's not a premiere. It's a screening of the Jim Garrison Tapes Part 2. It's titled "The American Media and the Second Assassination of President John F. Kennedy." It's happening at the Texas Theater, again, 12:30 to 5:30. The film will actually be between 1 and 3. And then after that, if you are able to stay around, there's another documentary, which Judyth is actually, they're going to show it here, I believe, on Sunday night, The Searchers. And that's all about the first generation researchers into the Kennedy assassination. People like Jim Marrs, Gary Shaw, Robert Groden, Mark Lane. So it's going to be all about their research efforts. Okay, so that is also going to show at the Texas Theater on Monday in case you can't stay Sunday night here. And then I invite everybody on Tuesday, if you're still in town. That is when we have the Moment of Silence ceremony from 12 to 1:30 in Dealey Plaza. Again, I'll be the MC of that, and we will pause for 53 seconds right at 12:30, 1 second for every year since this horrible crime has taken place. So without further ado, let me get the program rolling here and have Larry Rivera come on up and get this program started.